Hello, nerds! Thank you for joining me here on Nerd News Clips. This is the second channel. This is the place for all of the short-form content as well as the individual sections and just generally speaking smaller things. If you are into the longer form content, youtube.com/generallynerdy is the place to go see that. With that out of the way, let's get into this. We actually have comic books to talk about this week. Actually, we have comic books and books to talk about, so we're just going to jump right into this. We have a trailer for a new series, technically. It's a Squirrel Girl podcast that's going to be happening. Normally, we put this in TV streaming. TV streaming is kind of huge, so we had to bump it back to comic books. Squirrel Girl, Marvel has teamed up with SiriusXM, so it's going to be broadcast over the SiriusXM app. I don't know if it's getting its own channel. I was unable to find that information, but we will follow up once I do. So the director for this is going to be Giovanna Sardelli. It is written by Ryan North, who has written Squirrel Girl previously. Original music by Justin Huertas and Stephen Tran. The series stars Milana I'm so going to not pronounce these names right, and I apologize in advance. Vaintrub, playing the voice of Squirrel Girl, features performances by Crystal Lucas Perry, Nancy Whitehead, Leo Shang, Kai Bai. Again, sorry for the mispronunciations. I am not good with a lot of names. I think this guy's name is Davled Morales. Chipmunk Hunk, Erica Schroeder is going to be Tippy T. Squirrel, Tina Banco, Rachel Oscar, and Peter Herman. Brain Drain. Von Traub was set to play Squirrel Girl in the live-action series that we talked about that was in development and then got canceled unceremoniously before they even started filming, so she is going to get to play the role after all. It's just going to be voice cast and not live action cast. So that's what we've got there. Next, we're talking about Buffy, kind of. So Boom Studios has been running the Buffy comic books for a while. They did a reboot a few years ago that we covered, and it's not bad. It's actually pretty decent. Now they're doing something different. They're doing a multiverse thing, which of course they are, because that's all of the rage. That's what the kids are talking about these days, right? Is multiverses. You gotta have a multiverse. Well, apparently Boom Studios is going to create a multiverse with The Vampire Slayer. This new series is going to take place almost like a reboot in and of itself, only this time it's not going to be Buffy who becomes the Slayer, but Willow. So it's the same basic cast of characters, but Willow is now the Slayer and Buffy is part of her support team, which is a very interesting dynamic, I'm not going to lie. There is an official synopsis from Boom Studios. It says, after the events of the past few years fighting against the forces of evil nonstop, Buffy Summers finds herself succumbing to the burden of bearing the Slayer mantle. To help his Slayer, Rupert Giles risks turning to chaos magic, and with Willow's help, they attempt a spell to remove the trauma from Buffy's psyche. But the effects backfire and leave Buffy unable to remember her past or her purpose. With Sunnydale under attack, a surprising new Slayer must rise to protect the world, while Buffy's friends race against the clock to restore her true self before it's too late. Issue number 1 is going to be on shelves April 20th. It is going to be written by Sarah Gailey, who wrote Eat the Rich, Magic for Liars, artist Michael Sheffer, who did Domino, colorist Valentina Pino and Riccardo Giardina, lettering by Ed Dukeshire, and you can see the rest of the notes down in the show description. But yeah, that is interesting, and probably, I don't know if we're going to do reviews and such for comic books. I honestly am running out of time doing what we already do, so it is what it is. But we will definitely be keeping tabs on it. Again, April 20th, so as you're watching this today is when it hits shelves. Our next piece is a book piece, and this one comes from Grant Morrison. Luda is the name of Grant's first novel. So previously they wrote, it was a piece of nonfiction that was about superheroes and pop culture. This is a proper novel, the subject of which is going to be magic and drag queens. Interesting. Also, didn't realize that Grant Morrison had come out as gender fluid. So also learning things. Grant Morrison is a legend in the industry, so I just feel like whatever they write is going to be worth a read, even if it is woke as hell. Just putting that out there. That is what we have on that. Next, we have Batman White Knight Red Hood. So the White Knight series is ongoing. Sean Murphy is doing wonderful things. And now we have another spin-off book, much like the Harley book that happened with the last White Knight. Again, name of the second White Knight book is totally brain farting out of my head, and I apologize. But now with the Beyond the White Knight, we have White Knight Red Hood. So this time, Murphy is going to be teaming up with Clay McCormick, who wrote Bloody Her, as the writer. Artist, Simone DeMeo. Future State, Harley Quinn. Colorist, Dave Stewart, who did Batman. And then apparently in this book, content-wise, the bit that we do know, aside from the fact that it is going to be Jason Todd as the Red Hood again, we're going to get a new Robin, but not any new Robin. It is going to be a female Robin, and this Robin is going to be the Robin for the Red Hood and not Batman. So Jason Todd is getting a Robin. His Robin's name is going to be Gon. That's all I know, G-A-N. Again, female Robin. It sounds really interesting. I really love the Sean Gordon Murphy stuff, so yeah, I'm totally on board. This sounds very intriguing. It is going on sale in July, but there was not a specific date in July for when it is launching. So we'll just have to keep tabs on it and let you know. So that is all of the news in comic books and books, and this week's suggestion is actually a book suggestion. So book suggestion for the week, Chuck Palahniuk. I'm not going to say Fight Club, though that is a fantastic book as well. The suggestion is actually his book Lullaby, which is a different kind of read. It poses an interesting question to the reader. If you had the ability to literally, without really doing anything, if you had the ability to end the life of somebody, would you? If you had the ability to stop people from ending the lives of their children, would you? Just very weird moral dilemma that comes up in this book. It's absolutely brilliantly executed and in classic Chuck Palahniuk style, sub 400 pages. So definitely an easy read, and yeah, totally worth your time. That is our suggestion for comic books and books this week. Once again, this has been just a brief segment from the larger episode that has been posted over on the main channel, youtube.com/generallynerdy. Go over there for the long form content, or just subscribe here if you want it in bite-sized chunks. Thank you very much for joining me, nerds. We'll see you in the next one. Before we go though, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.